Yeah, she has sued since then. She has sued the DOJ because she said she had glaring reviews and she doesn't understand why she was fired. All right. All rise. This is US v. Sean Combs. Judge Submaranian said, "Do we have the signed order of forfeiture?" The AUSA said, "Yes, I am handing it up." The judge said, "First, I'll go over that I have received and the pre-sentencing reports. I'll hear from the parties." So the show has begun over there at the Southern District of New York in the Honorable Judge Submaranian's courtroom for those of you that are entering into this legal forum right now. Many of you guys know that there have been a few updates since we all met on last night. One of those updates is 50 Cent. 50 Cent said, "This is my letter to the judge on Diddy's case." He said he was scared for his life. So this is what he says. Okay, this is from half a dollar. "Dear Judge Submaranian, I have had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there. As you are already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army, in two locations simultaneously. Later, his son, who's dealing with his own grape allegation, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public. And babies need it. My Netflix doc on this scandalous subject is coming soon." That is from rapper 50 Cent. Yes, he stays trolling. Like he does the whole most. Okay. Like what? All right. We are at the beginning stages. This is going to be a long ride. As you guys see, each side submitted over 100 pages in their sentencing memorandum. They have various letters, they have various individuals that want to speak on both sides. And Sean Combs has also presented a video. How many of you guys have seen that video? Do you think it's heartfelt? Hmm? Do you guys think it's heartfelt? We're gonna play that. We'll play that at the most opportune time here as we cover this sentencing. The judge said, "I've received the defense's reply memo of October 2nd and the letter from Mr. Combs and the video the defense plans to play here in court. I appreciated the letters. I've received the government's letters from Ms. Ventura and others. I appreciate them." Judge is showing that he is very grateful of the importance and the thoroughness of each and every individual that are pro him, pro the sentencing and against the sentencing that is being requested by the government. So he is expressing his gratefulness right now in the court. All right. Call Me Darling said he's mad that Diddy smutted. Ooh, I should have read that first. Oh, let me take that down. You guys are trying to get me in trouble. Love to Shop said, "What happened? I can't hear anything." I don't know. Hmm. Rich said the video was put together well. Oh my goodness, you guys are really. Did you get any sleep last night? Were you guys up worrying? Were you guys worrying? Were you guys up last night worrying or something? Because you guys came in a little grouchy. I know I I was on one last night. I was on one with a few of you guys last night. And I like to apologize. I still want you to stay unsubscribed. But I will apologize because I was a little snippy. I even snapped at my daughter because she didn't understand. I said, "Baby, what are the three branches of government?" She was like, I said, "You don't know the three branches of government?" It's like president, Congress, and the Supreme Court. All right, good enough. What does the president do? She said, now she's 6 years old. She said, "I don't know." I said, "Grab a pen and paper. We will not have an uninformed citizen. We're not going to have an uninformed citizen. You are going to be an informed kid. Okay. That's what you're going to be. We don't need any more people that just make conclusory arguments and don't know where they got the arguments from. You're going to know your government and you are going to be informed in every decision that you make." She's like, "Dang, it's like 10 o'clock. Can I go to bed?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm a little hype off of that video yesterday. Okay, go to bed. I'm sorry. We'll talk about it tomorrow." Right. That's what I said, Ray Bishop. I said maybe I should have been more specific and said, "What is the president supposed to do?" I thought about that later. That's why I said that. I was like, I was on one yesterday, so I have to apologize. I apologize profusely. Okay, guys. All right, let's go on. Let's see what else is happening. Let's see what else is happening. I gotta take these little breaks because it takes a minute for him to type. He does the best that he can. So then for Combs, Alexandra Shapiro said, "We're going to submit a course evaluation from MDC. The government said, we don't have a copy." The judge said, "Please give her one. Please give her one. Give her one over there. Go ahead and give it to her at that table over there." The government said, "Mia no longer wishes to address the court here today, in part due to the letter submitted by the defense. Bullying." So here the government came back today and has revived their argument that the defense team are some bullies because they cross-examined her. And someone actually was arguing with me in the chat about that and was like, They were too aggressive." I was like, "Honey, how many trials have you watched? Do you not know that all defense has is cross-examination? Do you not know that?" Well, anyway, Mia decided to stay home today. So let's move on. The government said, "We think the defense's letter violated your honor's rule." The judge said, "I thought the tone was inappropriate and it should not happen again." Anyone beyond Mr. Combs? And then Mr. Steele says, "The Reverend and Mr. Combs' children will come up and stand together." So they're standing up there together now, hands in hands, so they can talk about their father. Tracy said, "Most of us have no idea what he is doing." So was she really wrong? Like the life? Hmm? Oh, you're talking about Trump. I'm sorry, Tracy. I was sorry. Sorry. Thank you for the super chat, sis. I appreciate that. That's why I had to apologize, guys. That was my point, Tracy. When I really was looking at it, she was like, president, what does he do?" She did know who the president was. No, it took her a while for her to get off of George Washington. She had George Washington be the president for a long time. I'm like, George Washington is no longer with us, honey. No longer with us. Took her a while to like grasp that we have several presidents, but she does know that Trump is the president, and that might have been why she answered the way that she did. I don't know. But my point of the story when I talked about her was just I know that I was a little snippy last night, and so I just wanted to apologize publicly. Okay. So then Mr. Steele said, also Giovanni from the program. The judge said, Miss Slavic. So then Ms. Slavic said Rule 32 only applies to the parties and victims. The court is within its right to exclude character witnesses. 940 Federal 3rd 167. Judge Furman has used this to limit defense witnesses. Look at the government. So now they're like, oh, he has some extra person that wants to talk about the program. Well, we have case law to show that he shouldn't be allowed to add extra people that are not, as character witnesses. Rule 32 only applies to the parties and victims. And the judge said, but I can allow them, correct? As I overruled the defense wanting to exclude Mia. That's what I was thinking, Judge. And why you asking them if the permission? You're the judge. What are we doing here, sir? And then the government said, yes, it's within your discretion. So then the judge said, okay, Mr. Steele, for the children and Dr. Johnson, Reverend Doctor, I'll think about the others. So the judge has to think about everybody else. Diddy, I don't know what to think of this, Sean Combs. This judge is whoa. He's asking the government, but you guys asked for it, so can I give it to them if I want to as well? So basically, he's taking it under advisement as to whether he's going to allow these other people that he has brought, even though he's fighting for his freedom, he's going to have limitations. But the government was allowed to bring Mia, who wasn't even part of the statutory charge or conviction of which he was convicted of. Very interesting. Shanika said the judge is not being fair. Glanville's son, that is who the judge. You know what? You are right. Now that I will agree with. The sentence has already been determined. All this is nothing but fluff. Yes, he already knows what he's going to do. I agree with you on that. He's going to have a nice speech too. Watch what I tell you. The judge said, now as to the objections, remember I told you all that what you can do is you can object to some of the information that is within the pretrial services report, the PSR. And some people will tell you it's hard, like they don't typically remove the objections, but I actually, and I had somebody tell me not to do it when I had my federal criminal case some years ago. And I was like, whatever, the worst they can tell me is no. So I objected to about 4 different items, and the judge like sustained 2 of them. So I was, and everybody was like, oh, that's impressive. I'm like, you guys probably are just told you shouldn't object to anything and you don't. But if I'm fighting for my client and fighting for the best results for my client who did plead guilty in that instance, then I am going to make sure that I zealously advocate for my client. Like that's what my job is. That's what I get paid for. The worst they can say is no. But if I don't ask anything, then they can't give me anything. That's for certain. So anyway, the judge says now as to the objections, the defense says acquitted conduct cannot be considered. There is no guidance from any court on this. We don't know what the jury was thinking, but it's about overlapping conduct and it only impacts the advisory guideline range. Mm, I don't know. I wonder if he's going to add that acquitted conduct. That's the enhancement that's making it go over the off the top the chart. Hmm. So then the judge said acquitted conduct can be considered. See US v. Vaughn, Second Circuit, and other cases. Even matters that cannot be considered for the guidelines can be considered under 3553 sub A. Now, the U.S. objections, they argue for the criminal sexual abuse guideline. So it sounds like he is going to consider acquitted conduct, y'all. Thank you, Lolisa. I haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Thank you, Hood Mayor of New York. I appreciate that. Yeah, looks like I kind of was picking up what he was putting down anyway. When he said, I'm going to think about it, but you immediately granted the government's motion to allow Mia to. I knew where we were headed then, guys. I knew where we were headed, folks. Purple said, why have a trial if the judge can assign whatever charge or acquitted activity, which is essentially why they amended that from the guidelines, why it was amended in the sentencing guideline manual for that same question. But there's probably not a lot of case law on it because it's relatively new. Whew. Y'all, I don't know what to say except hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay, we get to 40,000. All right. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so. I appreciate you in advance. Okay, let's see what else happens. They haven't said anything yet. So what I'll do probably is when they play the video, then I'll play the video as well for you guys.